Hello everybody, it's your boy 107 here. Now I just bought a new microphone since I kept having issues with my last one, so let me know what you guys think. However, since my last TikTok about this certain topic did so well, let's talk Halo Reach. Now, Halo Reach has got to be the best story in video game history. I mean, Red Dead Redemption isn't even close. And just because it has a longer story doesn't actually mean it's better, or because Reach is a simple story doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes the simpler the better, and I think the disrespect on Reach has gone too far. From the beginning, we already know the end. There's no secret about it, you already know your fate. You, the player, Noble 6, will die. You join a squad of humanity's strongest soldiers and the best Spartan 3s known. Carter A259, the best leader. Cat B320, the brains. June A266, a headhunter and one of the best marksmen known. Emile A239, a sadistic killer known for his excessive violence against his enemy and close quarters combat. And George 052, the heavy weapons specialist and a superior Spartan 2. Plus, yourself, a Spartan covered in so much black ink that all we know about him is that he's comparable to the Master Chief, he's a lone wolf assassin, and a saber pilot that made entire militia groups disappear. Truly, Oni's personal Grim Reaper. You are the strongest, most valuable military assets, unkillable even. And for years, Halo has made Spartans to be invincible. And I mean seriously, Spartans never die, that's their mantra. But Reach changes that dramatically. At the climax of Halo Reach, you alongside a Spartan and an entire frigate lead a charge against the Covenant Corvette to activate a modified slipspace drive designed to tear apart everything it touches. But then the mission goes south. The frigate protecting you was destroyed. The bomb's timer would be fried in a firefight, meaning that you'd have to fire the bomb manually. And as you watch as George breaks the news, knowing a manual activation of the bomb will end his life, he tells you that we all make that trip sooner or later. A stark contrast of what we previously knew. We knew that Spartans never die. But this tells us everyone dies in the end.
Well, I got good news and bad news. This bird took some fire and our thruster gimbal is toast, which means the only way off this slag heap is gravity.
And the good news?
That was the good news.
At current velocity, 53 seconds to endpoint.
Yeah. Bad news is, time is fried. I'm gonna have to fire it manually.
That's a one-way trip.
We all make it sooner or later. Better get going, Six. They're gonna need you down there. Listen, Reach has been good to me. Time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this. Tell him to make it count.
But this line doesn't just act as a slight tidbit of stark contrast to what we know, but it's also foreshadowing. It reminds us of the opening cutscene of the game and the final cutscene. And poetically, George, the big heavy weapons specialist, dies from an impossible to survive explosion, thinking that he just saved Reach. But to our horror, out from Slipspace came hundreds of Covenant ships, 4 more fleets to be exact, one of which was the largest, or one of the largest fleets the Covenant had, surpassing even their highest, most leaders' fleet. Which then transitions to their next loss. Another Spartan, Catherine B320. Her death is a stark change from George's dying in an incredible explosion heroically. No, Kat would die due to a malfunctioning shield system, causing her to be exposed to a blamite needle round and one to the head. That's all it took. For the next 3 days, her lifeless body laid in an emergency bunker alongside her teammates and several civilians, Civilians who just saw their only hope get taken out in less than a second. How poetic. The tech genius was killed by a tech failure.
It hasn't already.
Maybe, but according to Holland, the Covenant are still hunting for something.
Where does he get off calling a demolition a priority one?
Come on, get in!
Let's go! Come on!
Kat's death is a reminder that not every death is a heroic death, especially for Spartans, and they can just be picked off just like that, just like any other soldier. In the end of the game, they're just as human as we are. Now by this point in the story, we know we won't win this war, and Bungie voices that very clearly, leading to a desperate race for time as the last 3 members of Noble Team, Carter, Emile, and yourself, race to the Pillar of Autumn to deliver the package and go home. But the plans change. They always do. You can't possibly get there by air, so you have to race on the ground, and again, to our horror, we are stopped by an impossible battle. A scarab. But your mission is important, and Carter knows that. The fate of humanity rests on whether you can deliver the package or not. So Carter does what's necessary for the mission, and sacrifices himself to destroy the scarab, opening up a clear shot at making it to the Autumn. And poetically, the captain goes down with his ship, putting the lives of his soldiers and humanity first.
You don't have the firepower.
I've got the map.
Solid copy. Hit 'em hard, boys.
You're on your own, Noble. Carter out.
Crevice to the east. Let's go.
And by this point, you, Noble 6, are intended to leave this planet, while Emile stays behind, protecting the Autumn from a Covenant cruiser about to destroy them. But if you haven't got it by now, Halo Reach has taught us that the plans change. Emile would be ambushed by elite zealots, killing one before he'd be poetically executed by an entry sword through his abdomen. Before he dies, he yells at you, "I'm ready, how about you?" This line is Emile telling the audience that he accepted his fate. Whether he said this to the Sangheli that killed him or to Noble 6, it does not matter. It's a line meant for the player, telling you that Emile is ready to die. He accepted his fate. But one final question remains. Are you ready to die?
Who's next? I'm ready! How about you?
Without much of a question or hesitance, you stay behind, sacrificing yourself to ensure the UNSC Pillar of Autumn, Cortana, and the Master Chief can escape, ensuring human survival. But Noble 6 would never see that future. But let's go back to the story. What is Halo Reach about? Well, it's about sacrifice, sure, but on a deeper level, it's not just the sacrifice that Reach is about. It's the inevitability of death. Even Spartans, the most badass soldiers known for being unkillable by both sides of the war too, they also just die. Halo Reach isn't about how inevitable death is though. It's about whether you are ready to accept that inevitability. So when Noble 6 stays behind at the shipbreaking yard in Azod, fighting off what remains of the Covenant fleet in the area, likely for hours, 4 hours probably, but for hours, against endless waves of Covenant warriors, wraiths, and air support, all alone. At this moment, Noble 6 has no idea whether the Autumn made it off Reach, if June is even alive, or if he is the only human left on the planet, and he has no idea or plan to get off the planet, and likely thinks humanity is doomed to lose. So in his final hours, Noble Six isn't just fighting to survive. No, he's accepting death on his own terms. Alone. How poetic. Bungie tells an excellent story that is intended to be their final entry and send-off from the Halo franchise. One that is emotionally gripping and extremely fun to play. But unlike many other games, the level's pacing and everything is just extremely balanced, and just the mere pacing tells a story. The first mission is slow and gradual, leading up to the inevitable surprise that the Covenant are on Reach. It's the winter contingency. And even the worst level in the game, New Alexandria, tells its own story with the pacing, being slow, demoralizing, and repetitive. Because in the end, that's how Bungie wants you to feel. They want the game to start slow like it's no big deal until it is. They want New Alexandria to be demoralizing, because it truly is demoralizing to have to change the offensive attacks to civilian-based survival, all while the enemy is actively burning your surroundings to glass. Because that's what it is. Every mission is meant to feel a certain way, with the cinematics, the pacing, story, and the combat. And unlike many prequels that suffer from you already knowing the ending, Halo Reach doubles down on that by telling us the ending so the story could be perfectly executed as the first entry or a prequel. Halo Reach simply does not suffer as a prequel as many other prequels do. And in the end, Halo Reach stands tall as the best, if not one of, but the best video game of all time, video game story of all time. And I know I just mentioned Red Dead Redemption 2 as being its competitor because it gets gassed up a lot. People love to glaze Red Dead Redemption 2, which, I mean, hey, it's a fun game. It definitely deserves some glaze. But God of War, that other game that I can't remember the name of, but it's on PlayStation. I think it's a zombie game. You know that one? Everyone knows that one. Halo Reach stands tall as the better story, because not only is the story so good, but everything about it is the story. The combat, cinematics, pacing, everything is the story, and it's all meant to make you feel a certain way. From the beginning of the game, it's this awesome, crazy, cool, badass shooter where you don't really feel like there's a story, because it's just go here and kill, go here and kill. Ooh, you're now it's nightfall and you gotta be a sneaky sniper, but you gotta kill, kill, kill. And then by New Alexandria, after Long Night of Solace, kind of in that area, it completely pivots from being this cool, badass story of being a Spartan, being unkillable, to holy shit, we're gonna lose and we're all gonna die. And that stark change clicks. It changes the entire basis of what Halo Reach is. By this point, you've probably forgotten this intro cinematic because it's just been so fun and so badass. And now, you just lost a brother. You just lost a sister. You just lost your commander. You just lost a cool ass guy. And now you're gonna lose yourself. Now, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I got this urge to make this video for my Halo Reach Mythic playthrough, which I streamed here on my TikTok. Well, here and on my TikTok. But thank you to all who came out for the stream. Thank you all who found my TikTok post on this. And thank you to you as well for watching this entire video and supporting me by liking and subscribing. It genuinely means a lot to me. And I don't want to just give you that manipulation to hit that subscribe button, but I mean, it would be pretty awesome if you could. If you wouldn't mind checking out the link in my description and following my other accounts so I can grow an army of fellow Halo fans, that would be awesome. I love you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.